Hello, I'm Jenny Klochko. Welcome to the podcast. Today we prepared something very special for you. KILLHOUSE, the movie, which done in Ukraine about the special operation, very risky, where three different departments of Ukrainian armed forces united together to save the family from the gray zone. It's made in the best traditions of Hollywood action films about the war.
Джентльмени, вітаю вас на борту наших авіаліній. Буде трохи турбулентно.
So today we discuss the production, the thoughts, the reflection about films about the war with Volodymyr Kaminskyi from International Legion. So KILLHOUSE, why people should watch it, and for those who love Hollywood-style thrillers, action films, how are they going to be satisfied and excited after watching KILLHOUSE?
Okay, KILLHOUSE. The director is Volodymyr Kaminskyi. It's Ukrainian director. This movie is worldwide level blockbuster.
Ну що, джентльмени, день буде гарячим. Погнали.
And I tell this not because I play in this movie and I did some small but producer piece for this movie. But I watched it like 4 times already in each premiere. You know, you have to watch it with people. You visit next city, you watch it once, second time, third time. And I wait, what will be the number of day when I will be tired from this movie? Not yet. It's interesting. First of all, it's long. It's long, 2.5 hours. You know, it's really hard to do some deep and interesting story that will take attention if you do short movie. This movie, like tremendous movies of the past, like Inception or some other these big blockbusters, it's long, so it takes all your attention. Second is really not linear and not simple story and ideas and senses that it brings. It's not surface level. And even for me, I'm the guy that watched in my past a lot of movies. I'm like, we call it here in Ukraine like kinoman. I love movies. And I have a lot of examples to compare with. So this movie is the type of movie that you will have to watch like 2 or 3 or 4 times to get everything. The previous experience that I had with world cinema like this, it was Inception movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes, Inception with Bob Sweden. I watched that movie 6 times in the cinema because I tried to understand everything. Yes, this movie KILLHOUSE is that type of movie. It's not about shooting. It's not about only like running with rifle, you know, shooting people to the face. It's not about cool gear, cool equipment, cool cars, armored vehicles, and other stuff. It's about senses. It's really deep movie, I tell you. And one more stuff is music and atmosphere that it creates. It's definitely not what you expect from it. I played in this movie and I had a fear before the premiere. I had my personal fear because I know what's the difference between cool movie and, you know, cheap garbage movie. But my personal fear, I love Volodymyr, so I do coming out today. It's like coming out, my personal. I'm sorry, Volodymyr, if you will watch it. And movie crew, I didn't trust you till the premiere, till the day of premiere, how you call it in English. I expected that it will be something, you know, with fancy, cool Hollywood style picture. but with poor music, poor senses, poor like broken scenario or script, how you call it, yes. So I was like and I didn't watch it till the premiere day. I watched it first time in the day of premiere. And from the very beginning, when it started, like first 5 minutes, like it was catharsis. Like I was completely shocked. And this movie is cool that first of all, it shows it's not like linear story, like it starts from the very beginning and happy end. No, it has this type of scripts or scenarios, how to call it right in English?
Script, yeah.
Scripts, yes. When you have something and then tons of different parallel stories happening, different in different places, but it's all one story. And so many, everything is going on, interesting, so many cool characters, except me, yes, and so many, everything is going on that you're not tired during all 2.5 hours, and you are not, you don't lose attention. It really keeps attention from the very beginning till the end. And after this, the feeling like, you remember Neo in Matrix, like now I know Kung Fu. You come out from the cinema as a completely different person, and you forgot what was in the morning. It's a perfect story. It's perfect job of all the crew, and completely the level that nobody expected. And I'm sure that people in the West, in US, in Great Britain, in other countries, they don't realize what is going on. I'm sorry, it's not the right. They don't realize what they are going to meet, when the premiere in the West will start. Yeah, I'm proud for taking part in this project.
Let's say the plot line of this film was inspired by real events. There was a family, and Ukrainian servicemen had to save using drones. The family, they stuck in the gray zone, and they were sort of under the shelling of Russian side. And so Lubomir done the documentary on it, and I think people can find it on YouTube. It calls Follow Me. And also CNN did the TV report on it, and it's went viral. And then Lubomir wanted to go further, made the script on it, and had the sort of support and help from 3 different departments of Ukrainian Armed Forces. And basically, it's turned out to be a film. And he spent all his savings, as it's stated. So, did you know the story before the film started? Have you heard similar stories? So, what was your thought when you found out this is the story and we're going to be part of it?
First, when I heard this story, it was the first day when I was in the shooting scene of the movie, because there was no way before that. I didn't realize that I'm going to play in this movie as an actor. So I told this story that Lubomir asked me as a contact person, as responsible officer in International Legion of the EU, that does first of all like producer job, that I organize processes. He asked me to take our guys, foreigners, the main like our famous guys that we show them really often, like Murray Seabrook, like John Wick, like Gimli, and other guys like Bucket, yes. And when the shooting is supposed to start, these guys were in trenches and working. And I started to do these first days of shooting to like, how you call it in soccer, like change. Yes, when one player comes instead of other player. Yes. And first time I heard this story about drone extraction, real drone extraction, that was provided actually, not by GOR, not by SBU, not by Third Assault. It was provided by, as far as I remember, I can make mistake, but we should check, but 93rd Brigade guys.
Yeah.
It sounded, how to say, quite familiar, because in 2022 I made something the same with my father. So I tried to get him out, and the same way I drove the car, the same way I took him. He wasn't in hostage, thanks God, but he and my dog, they got stuck in like in the gray zone, and I did it alone. Yes, without my woman, but alone. I'm a little bit more smart than this guy in the movie, and I was like serving also that period of time. I had weapons and everything, but it looked like quite familiar, and sounded like quite familiar. That's why I liked this story from the very beginning.
I checked, I haven't watched the film myself, but I noticed the creators of the film and those who already in Ukraine watched it, they talking about the unity between 3rd Assault Brigade, about GRU and SBU. And there's a lot of discussion about the competition, who is the sort of coolest on the battlefield, or who can conduct more risky or more impressive operations. But in this film, it's the unity. Have you been impressed during filming? And how realistic does it look? Because, in real life, each man wants to prove that he's the strongest, the smartest, the quickest, the bravest, and all of those things.
First of all, this movie is not about unity between Third Assault, GOR, and SBU guys. This movie about unity of everyone with everyone. There are tons of different lines of script in this movie, and like moments that shows it. It's like one red line, one red sense, and one red like principle that goes through this movie. It's unity of families. The big part of, and one of the main senses of this movie that shows it's about Ukrainian kids in occupied territories, and that they supposed to be like in unity with their parents that are here. It's other unity, and I wasn't really expired. Yes, you said I wasn't really expired because I was something like shocked that I supposed to work with camera in this. So it was like stressful. That's why I started to think it over like later when adopted myself. I had experience to work with camera. I had experience to giving interviews, in talking, yes, and etc. But I wasn't expect the scale of this process, the amount of people that are present in the scene, the amount of equipment that involved in all the process. I hope you will put the backstage these videos. Maybe we will include it in this Zoom, because it looks like the scale, because it's like blockbuster, like world level blockbuster. And the equipment that was used is the same equipment that, for example, is used for filming movies like Dune or some nowadays blockbusters. Okay,
When you can see on the filming set the real guys from the trenches, those who just you delivered basically from the front line, and the guys who are very good at pretending to be soldiers, how was to see the sort of these two worlds collide and how they can cooperate? I mean, the actors, the main lead parts were done by actors. The rest of people were the fighters, the heroes of Ukraine, some of them.
yeah, okay. We have three main units in this movie: the Third Assault Brigade guys, a lot of them. We have SBU Alpha. It's the main counter-terror unit in Ukraine. It's something like GIGN in France, or something like GSG9 in Germany, for just understanding the type of guys. It's the most like top elite guys, and they are actually also fighting a lot in the war. We have two GUR teams. GUR is the main directorate of the military intelligence of Ukraine, and International Legion guys. We have actual International Legion guys, foreigners, and the second unit is a 10th separate squad named by General Shapoval. It's the officers' special activity, like special forces, like military recon, like the most elite guys. In US, they have DIA, so it's like special forces of DIA, of the military intelligence, or some SAS, so it's the same. And for actors, and they tell it a lot in interviews, and they were really worry in the meaning of how to, first of all, how to play military guys, and how to play not surrounded by other actors that are doing the same, but surrounded by actual military personnel. They took it really serious. That's why training started a couple months before the start of shooting, and they had training with like best instructors from different organizations. The Third Assault guys worked with them, like GUR guys worked with them, SBU guys worked with them, and this training and this working together, and from our side, I mean not from mine, but from guys, military guys, we tried to pay attention for them like like they are our teammates. How about their gear? Maybe they forgot something, and it continued till the end of their taking part. So we watchdog them the same like they watchdog us, our like actor skill. Because we, like military guys, we also had scenes with dialogues a lot. We also had scenes with the need of expressing right emotions. We weren't present there like with white wall faces, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, какие ваши доказательства in red heat. So we had to express emotions in the same level as real actors. I have now two terms. I have the term when journalists and other guys started to call me actor, and I'm like, now I have two terms. Like there are actors. Okay, I played in movie. I'm an actor, but then we have real actors, because the people that played in this movie, the main characters, and there are a lot of main characters. It's not couple guys. There are a lot of them. They're all theater actors. It's it's different than just movie actor. When you have to express emotion and to remember one sentence, like it was for me, and I had situations when I forgot my words and I had only one sentence. These people, they play scenes. There are scenes in this movie that that are made with one shot without cutting, that continuing like minutes and minutes and minutes, and it's like in a theater but filmed. I like Quentin Tarantino does, that long dialogues, really long dialogues with moving camera, with deep senses, with deep emotions, and when you forgot the word in fifth minute, you have to do it from the very beginning. Same. There are scenes like this in this movie, because these people are theater actors, and they are complete, really good professionals. You believe every character that they play, and if these guys play military guys, Jesus Christ, if I would be like 16 years old guy now, I would take it as an example of behavior, of senses, and of everything, how these people behave, and try to be like the same, like these guys, because they did right job. And these small things like working with weapons, like on camera, how to reload, it's not it's not hard to get it. And we did. This guy know how to do it and how to do it on camera. It's not a big deal how to organize this process. Just training for months and they're fine.
Interesting. I want to ask you about three generals in the film. They playing themselves. I mean, Kirill Budanov, obviously, Vasil Maluk, and Andriy Viletsky. Because you watched the film, so and especially for Ukrainian audience, it's probably less impressive for the people in the other countries. They might recognize the faces, but still, how much it's add this intensity, this believing. What would you think about that?
First of all, I will do some kind of address for Western audience that will watch our podcast. I think it would sound strange to hear that Ukrainian generals and bosses of agencies playing in the movie, because it's not actually correct. They don't play in the movie, because play in the movie, you have to waste a lot of time for this, really a lot of time. I wasted a lot of time for this. And our generals are doing their job, okay? They did something like cameo.
Yeah,
No, cameo, like it was in Iron Man.
being
They showed
themselves.
their Elon Musk. Yes, so that was short scenes when they showed up and they did it's themselves. So they actually work. They don't play in movies. It's important thing, and I am as an officer have to like mention this. For Ukrainian audience, as I see in different cities, for everybody, it's they start to feel like warm feeling, and it creates a bridge between fiction and reality. It's like a bridge. And they are not only guys that are doing cameo in this movie. There are a lot of different other guys that also really well known in Ukraine, in media, like commanders of Third Assault, like guys like Murray that we showed him a lot of times. Everybody knows that he is himself. And we have a lot of other dudes that maybe not all the country knows them, but they played also themselves. There are tons of cameo there. And it creates the bridge between reality and fiction. And that's why the emotion that you start to feel, that's why the like understanding of the processes that are going on the screen, it helps to also to put your brain in the joining mode. Yes, we called it joining, join everybody.
Yeah.
Unity.
Yeah.
Unity. It's also one more unity. Lubomir did great job, the same as the guys that founded Ocean's 11 movie. He combined on the scene tons of different people from different worlds. And could organize. It's about organizational level of organizational skill of his team to organize even just logistic of all this process. For me personally, the taking part is in this project like an actor. Yes, it's interesting, but okay. But to see and to realize how this and to be like to be able to also do something for producer piece of this job, of this project. Logistics, tons of equipment, tons of different like fancy gear that it's really hard to find. I'm sorry for this world, but to find Russian armored vehicles. And I want to say really thank you for Kraken unit. They have 2 Russian armored vehicles trophy, and they provided it to us for the filming team. And we brought it through all the country, and it played like itself. It's the trophies from the Kharkiv Oblast from the 2022. So we have real Russian armored vehicles in this movie. We have real Russian rifles in this movie because tons of trophy AK-12s, tons of other stuff played in this movie, real Russian and our enemies' weapon systems. From the organizational point of view, it's you can't even imagine how many it took everything, from the team of producers to execute this.
Vlad, it's not your first experience with filmmaking. You did recently Once Upon a Time Summer, isn't it? Am I correct with the title about the International Legion? And you did this filming with your guys and Mari, one of the faces, and he was on this podcast. And but what I'm going to ask, you were part of this fancy world of making real cinema. And obviously, on the set, you've seen beautiful, charming actresses, whose job to be believable, this kind of the magic world. Did you feel smashed? You were charmed. How was for you your experience? It's one hand this masculinity, this sort of male, and you explained so beautifully about this uh, being part of this craft these as the theater actor and how they were on the scene about the war. So how about the female parts? How charmed were Ukrainian officers and servicemen seeing this beauty in real life?
We have this, what you describe. As I told you, first of all, there is actress. She's name is Alexandra Soroka. She plays this mother that we extract. First time I was shocked when I saw in the scene how she does her job. Because you really believe in this shit, I'm sorry. And she expressed like it so truthfully, you will see it in the movie. When I started to feel everything, in the scene in real life, and I like, whoa, get back your Schwarzenegger face, But it was like this. I can't even, that's why I tell that from this day, from this moment, there are actors and there are real actors. These people are real actors. The second example we have when I was completely shocked, but when I watched the movie, I told you that there are some different lines of scenarios, and there were pieces that I didn't even know that they exist. They shoot it and filmed it some other days in other places because it's parallel. It's like when I am the character and that character, we don't meet in the movie. That's why we never meet in the scene. There is also a lady that plays. I don't want to do this spoilers or something. She plays. She plays somebody that does a job also. When I watched this movie, so it was like it's the most beautiful woman character that I saw, since I was 18 years old when I started, or 16 years old when I started to pay attention on girls, or 14 years. I don't remember,
Oh.
It's not. It's something between James Bondy girls stuff, yes, but with Ukrainian energy. She's perfect. I tell you, not as a GUR officer. I tell you, not as a representative from the main directorate of International Legion of the EU. I tell you as a Volodymyr, as a man. She's real perfect, the character. So yes, if you look for something like this, you will also have something like this in this movie, and it's cool. It's real cool. They are real actresses.
I can't imagine how for the soldiers was difficult to concentrate on actual what they're supposed to do while being around, the actresses. There's all this charm and beauty and this talented.
So if we discuss this perspective from this story, you don't have only actresses, women in the scene, shooting scene. There are a lot of team crew, and you have tons of cool, pretty women and girls that are in crew. You know that they do this painting of the face. I don't know this specific.
Makeup artist.
Yes, these beautiful girls that they are doing this. I don't know how to call it in English. Like with these numbers, we have all of us, like guys, we had a lot of fun, laughing and joking in this, and everybody wanted to make a photo with this stuff. I don't know the English term. And we were like kids, like boys. It was so cool. And movie guys wanted to make photos with our rifles, and we wanted to make photos with all these professional movie equipment. It was really excited. So you had a lot of beautiful Ukrainian girls in the crew. Yes, and they also created, they balanced this atmosphere of that was happening in the scene and the day, because the shooting days are really long. You can show up at 6 o'clock and you can leave at 12 o'clock of the night. And it's like working in the factory. And every day. It's like little one-day festival. One-day festival. When you have tons of concerts, so one scene is like one show. And you have 10, 12 shows per day, every day, during a couple of months. So it's not about a sprint, it's about marathon. And a lot of people tired. A lot of people, it was summer heat. A lot of people start to be tired, some skeptical, negative about this stuff. So it's different atmosphere, and these girls, that they did their job, and they are completely professionals in what they're doing, because how they did us dirty face, because all the dirty in the face, it's not real. It's really cool when you're equipped with this all gear, the shoulders like these mags and you go to Star Wagon, and it's pink with all these lights, all this stuff, these cool, cute girls with brushes, Vlad, we will do you dirty. I did working on the ground, I know how to operate on the ground. I know how to make myself dirty, just to put your face to the mud, yes, and then and everything. Vlad, we will make you really dirty. Okay, I trust the anniversary, anniversary, so, or how you call it, universe, to myself. And all this mud, I don't know, maybe you know it, this all mud on the face that you see in the movie, it smells perfect. Because it's cosmetics. And you stay dirty with rifle, and it smells like something like when I smell my daughter, because she also starts to use this stuff. And it creates, this cognitive dissonance, cognitive dissonance. Є у вас таке слово? It creates different feelings that you have when you usually work and operate with rifle, something like that.
Have you seen what was the most difficult, or maybe things the Ukrainian soldiers, officers who've done some unspeakable, unbelievable life-risking operations, but it was very challenging for them during the filming or during sort of on the film set? What was that was quite a challenge for them? Have you noticed anything?
I don't want to talk from the side, on behalf of guys. Maybe I can tell what was challenging for me personally. For me, it was the most challenging to talk when you have to talk as a character. And it was challenging because when you shoot the scene, you don't shoot it like in theater, like one time. You have to shoot it like 10 times, 12 times, 20 times from cameras from this side. Then again, the same camera from that side. Then again with something else. Then we like fucked up this try. We have to do it the same. And it's not hard to tell something like to express emotion once, but you have to do it like 12 times and to have consistency how you do it. So when I use this, I don't know English term, this
Just
in
pick. Just pick.
in one scene, yes, I use this stuff, no, like something like this.
Yeah.
And there was something like order of movements that I made from the very beginning. And then you have to, like a robot, to move the same, like, to prevent some fuck ups when they adjust, not adjust, but assemble the video. When in one scene you stay like this, and another scene you stay like this. Yes, to make this consistency of these movements. Yes, so I take the water, I take like this, I put this, I put this, and then you repeat it one more time, and then you have to say something. And when you say something, you have to have like right voice. And you're fucking scared as shit, I'm sorry. And nervous because like 100 guys around like watching you, tons of light, in your face in one scene. The camera was like on this like 10 people, and you have to start talking, and every time to talk the same stuff. Like Seria course, like sort of an invasion course, an interrogation course, and only Lubomir, somewhere there, like screams, Vlad, it's okay, you're doing great, repeat one more time, and then one more time, again one more time, and then the 20th time, and you're like completely exhausted because it's type of neural job that you never like do. It's not familiar for you. And you fucking start to forget these phrases. I had the scene when I had to say one phrase, like one sentence.
What did you
One
say?
sentence. It was short, one sentence. I don't want to create this spoiler. And we filmed it. It was the scene when there were tons of actors present in the room. That's why there were like tons of different shooting the same stuff a lot of times from different focuses. After 15th time, I just like, so everybody do this scene. They tell their phrases, and then I find myself and I don't remember what to say. And all the guys, actors, watching me, all the guys of crew, like filming the cameras, watching me. Some girls that make you dirty, all the team, like waiting Vlad say his fucking phrase, and you're like, "Ah." And I repeat,
Well said.
I repeat the scene. Remember with DiCaprio from Once in Hollywood movie when he forgot his words.
Yeah.
So, and I had this experience. And then I went and started to scream like, "You're motherfucker! You forgot! You had one sentence! You had one sentence!" And you remember this? Maybe we put this piece of movie in this. I had the same experience, and it's cool. And it was only one sentence, and it's a job like in a factory. That's why I tell they're actors. They're professional, real actors.
So what kind of, it's not like you alien to this sort of creative side of life, because in your pre-war life you were engaged into show business, and then, as I mentioned before, you had this documentary about the International Legion, and you were filming and then you were promoting it. But seems like absolutely new level. Do you have a favorite moment, or do you have a favorite scene? There's actually kind of like the has a special place in your heart.
yes, I had tons of experience my in show business, but it always was producing and organizational side of this process. I worked with movie actors, I worked with worldwide known like artists, musicians like Jennifer Lopez, like Red Hot Chili Peppers twice. So I know the job from this perspective. But I never had this situation in my life when this attention goes not to that guy, but this piece of attention goes to me. That's why it's completely different, like side, and everything is different. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different because the job of actors not more important the job of any guy that has some that does something for this movie. Like even the guy that makes coffee in catering and foods in the catering that all the team can eat, it's important. It's teamwork. The filming process is something like the army. Yes, you have actors, you have like soft guys analogy that are shooting people to the face, but you have hundreds and thousands of people that support them. The same situation in movie this world as far as I understood. Yes, you have actors, all the people will watch their faces in the movies. Nobody will know the name of some guy that stayed with microphone during months. I can't even imagine their biceps job, how long they stay and carry this microphone. For me, it was one of the biggest questions of this project. But it's impossible to create movie only with acting. The producer, I as a like former or actual producer, it's call sign producer and organizer like officer that organizes processes. For me, it's a tremendous job that these people did, and tons of people that are involved in post-production process. The guy that created music, I know about music in the movies because I'm first of all, when I as a consumer, when I watch the movie, if the music is bad, all the movie will be bad. I think like 50% of emotions and atmosphere that is created during movie is created by music and sound, and it's completely like important, and their job is important. That's why when people start to ask, like, "Hey, Vlad, how was this experience? How did you this right, like white wall face in the screen?" I have a couple times when my face is like big in the screen. How did you create this emotion? Like, it was not problem. I just made like this. But these people, what they did from the technical perspective, as a sound, as a music, as a camera, as organizing all these processes, like and put it all together, for me, it's more important than the skill to make the face like this.
How was difficult for you to watch yourself on the screen? I'm asking it because I know many people, especially journalists, when you start with broadcasting, it's very difficult to watch yourself, to hear your voice, and I'm still struggling. I'm doing podcasts, so many. It's just for me to watch. Me sort of doing the interview when I need to translate or anything. For me, it's a torture. So if I had the person to do that for me, I would first thing I would delegate. How was for you coming to cinema? All of this people, and you.
Do you know why you feel the torture when you watch yourself?
No, I
Because
don't.
I met the same situation when I start to do the after action review after some interview or something. I catch myself on the feeling that I start to spin some emotional this torture feeling, okay, like this. It's because your body like mirroring the character on the screen, And when you see yourself doing something, you start mirror emotions and condition that you usually have when you like acting or perform. So you start mirroring like this mirroring
Yeah, 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 yeah.
neurons. So monkey see other monkey and start repeat condition and emotion and heart beating of monkey that they're talking with. But now you're mirroring yourself. And if you did like emotional performing on the screen, when you're doing after action review or adjusting or assembling the video, you watch yourself, your internal monkey starts to switch off the condition that you do when you perform. That's why energy is so high. That's why it's so exhausting. Uh,
Interesting.
it's psychology. I don't know why I tell this for our audience, but maybe it will be interesting for you.
Was it difficult for you, or you fine?
No, I'm fine. You know the level of my ironia
Hmm.
about myself, so I don't like make a big deal about my face and the screen. It's not like something that to be focused in. And during this year, past year, I had experience about like exposing my. I had all these stresses before when New York Times first mentioned my full name, like when I did some first my live interview in our Ukrainian TV, in international TV. So I had these stresses before. That's why to see my friendly face in the screen wasn't a really big deal. But I was mm, expressed not because of this. I was expressed about the difference between what I really expected, honestly, and what I saw. And this difference, it created like really expressing. And my face in the screen was like a cherry on the cake. It was like, yeah, it's perfect, but it's not a really big deal.
Thinking about our interview and mentally preparing myself, I was reflecting on films about war, about soldiers, about all of that. And I can't say it's my favorite. I do prefer a film about spies and everything what involves intelligence, but there are a couple of things which um, became my favorite. So first one, I mean, I grew up on Soviet films about the war, but we're not gonna talk about it. So the probably the first one I was impressed, and I go back to this film from time to time. It was Pearl Harbor. Obviously, because I watched it when I was 17, and for me, the film was about the true love, the true sacrifice, rather than war itself. Now I'm looking at it as the war, as the sort of, with time. And the latest one probably was the Inglorious Bastards by Tarantino. And it's, again, it's war, but it's more about revenge. And it's about, this. Obviously, my favorite is Christoph Waltz in all of this. And now Ukraine tells your story about the war, tells the story about the warriors, about the heroes. And as for me, that was quite surprised, the actual people who were awarded the State Award Hero of Ukraine are on the screen. I understand why it needs internally for people to see the soldiers who are on duty or who've been retired, that they've been appreciated and they are the heroes. So it's important. But why do you think we need to make these films about the war in Ukraine in the best of Hollywood tradition, this active action film for the audience outside Ukraine? What do we need to tell them?
Let's use two examples that are familiar for what we discuss. It's Pearl Harbor. The example is perfect. And not Glorious Busters because it's too fiction. It's about something. It's not relevant for the Kill House example. But let's take Black Hawk Down.
Mhm.
Yes, take two these examples. The question, I have a question. Who really knew and realized what actually happened in Somalia and Mogadishu in that year, in 1992, as far as I remember, before this movie? Nobody knew nothing about this story. Maybe someone heard it in the news like decades ago, because this movie is 2008 or 2001, 2001, and the story in Mogadishu happened in 1994 or 1992, I don't remember. Nobody knew. After this story, after this movie, a lot of people knew that this story happened first, yes? The second side, who could feel and who could feel the emotions and to, at least in the fiction type, but see not the story, but the details, how it happened, like big ship, like in Pearl Harbor. What's happening with it when it's shelled by something? How people prone, how they look like when they are dying under the water. Where can you have this experience? So you have two sides. You have the story, what happened actually in Mogadishu, and you have second side, how it looked like actually, even with atmosphere, details, terrain, city, how enemy looked like, you know. So you need the story to put the guy that or the girl that will watch the movie to that atmosphere. So the story is the instrument. It's not the main. The main is to help people to feel and to realize what's going on, what's going on. How to say it right? No matter. So everybody knew about Pearl Harbor, but nobody could really understand what was how it looked like, right? So the Pearl Harbor story is fancy about these two brothers, about this girl, nurse. It's perfect.
Yeah, and also beautiful. And it's the picture, the nature, everything is so impressive, isn't it?
Yes, it's impressive. It's a side why some movie is perfect. The movie is perfect when it has every different person will find something perfect for himself. So you say that nature is perfect. I say, for me, different perfects, different. For example, Ben Affleck behavior for me is perfect. Why this movie is great, like great, you know, he's like when wide audience, everyone will find something for himself. And if you want the love story, you will find love story. If you want shooting people to the face and mech changing, you will find this. If you want some technology, you will find big ship. If you love aviation, you have guys that fly. So everyone will find something for their mirroring, monkey mirroring, you know, to find that will take his attention. And everything else doesn't matter. So KILLHOUSE movie does the same effect. So everyone will find something for them. If you're a young boy, you're 10 years old or 12 years old, I don't know the age limit in this movie. So no matter. There are kids in this movie, and these kids play perfect. I was shocked. You know, it's really hard to find the kids that will play as an actor on the high level. These young guys that played here, you really believe them. You have, as we discussed, we have these women, the example of real women energy, real women behavior, the real women strength that covered by pretty but strength. Okay, you have this example, and who looks for this? Like some girls will look, how should I behave? They will find these characters. Some guys will find
Masculinity.
masculinity, the right example. It's not the first in Ukraine's history movie that shows right Ukrainian masculinity. It's not the first. I'm sorry, guys from the crew. I know the movies. The first was Zahar Berkut that I saw. Zahar Berkut, movie. I love this. I don't really, where this actor, I don't remember his name, T-1000 plays, from Terminator actor, T-1000. I don't, Robert Patrick plays.
Yeah.
They play medieval time Ukrainians. And these guys are right. Yeah. And maybe some other movies exist. I don't know about them. But this movie, Kill House, is like this. Really big side of this is right Ukrainian masculinity with right enlightened light principles. You know, like in Star Wars, you have dark side, you have light side, how do they call it in English? Not dark side, Jedi side. Okay, Jedi side, thick side. So this masculinity that is shown in Kill House. It's about Jedi type of masculinity.
Why do you think we need, as Ukrainian sort of film production community, why do we need to make the film about the war right now?
I have my personal answer for this question. I'm not about that we need it now. Yes, now it's cool. Maybe it will level up people's emotional condition somehow to create some unity and etc. etc. I think about future, that in 10 years, in 20 years, you know, when it will be completely different life, the people, and especially next generations that now are young and they now don't really realize what's going on because they're kids like 5 years old, like my nephews, you know, one is 5 years old, second one is like 6 months. He doesn't really understand what's going on. But the guys like them, when they grew up, they will also try to study what happened these years, this period of time. Yes, they can, as we discussed in previous podcasts, they can open books and they can read like a story. They can read the story, but how can they feel these emotions? The same way how I studied and tried to feel what was going on in Mogadishu watching Black Hawk Down. So the next generations will study and will remember us as it's shown in the movie, this movie also. This movie, Summertime in Ukraine, White Raven, I'm completely proud that I had my piece in these projects because we show what's going on now for the future. And the second reason, we didn't discuss it yet, but I found it this time, and funny example. I want to say sorry for Scottish people, but I will use them as example. Here in Ukraine, nobody really knows, understands anything about what the Scotland is and who our Scottish people are. It's like it's too far. We don't know. I know Edinburgh and that's it. Yes, but after Braveheart movie with Mel Gibson, we understand that Scottish people are real like badass. They're cool.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yes, or you
The
watch
same.
Outlander about
I didn't watch, and I didn't realize that he's Scottish guy. Then twice, yes, we have definitely. The same way, in the countries that, yes, they are sorry about what's going on in Ukraine. Yes, they are involved somehow in this process. This process that we have here, like influence on them. They read it in the news, they watch videos, but they can't feel it like you feel what was going on in Pearl Harbor when you watch Pearl Harbor made by Michael Bay. So all over the world, when this movie will go further, they will understand and see and feel and mirror like Ukrainians that they see in Kill House movie. Like we love, and I loved when I was a kid to watch Mel Gibson screaming freedom, you know, And since that 95 year that this movie was shown, you know that Scottish people, you shouldn't joke to these guys, because they're right guys on the right side of the history. And when I had my first Scottish guy in my team of International Legion, it's actually how it is. And so the movie showed Scottish males how they are really. This guy was really badass. I didn't understand anything that this guy was talking. The English that this guy used, I speak English a little bit, but I couldn't understand him at all. But in behavior, in what movements and what actions he executed, he was really another badass and strong, like guys they show in Braveheart. So I want all over the world see Ukrainians and understand Ukrainians and feel Ukrainians, how they are shown in this movie, Kill House.
And my last question, Vlad. It's 50th year of war. How war changed you personally, as a soldier, as a man, as a Ukrainian, as a son? So, how different you are now from the person you were in February 2022?
I was younger because 5 years is actually a big piece of life. I made more, extra useless movements. I had a lot of myths in my head, a lot of illusions. Do you have illusions word in my head? I that if I remember, if I try to remember whom I was in January, let's talk about January of 2022. I couldn't even expect and imagine what will happen like in 5 years. I had some plans, I had some ideas, etc., but it's completely different. It's hard to, it's nice. It's something like how to compare your school years and your university years and your army years. It's different. It's other page. And every page of life, every like 5 years period or 3 years period is really important. And it's not, I don't think that this, my period of life, it's something great. The previous were also great. It was different, and it goes like a story, the story of some guy that's doing something to make this world better. I love my school years. I love my university years, like my American football time years. And, a lot of people think that if war is going on, you have to, and there is no other way but only suffering. I'm not this guy. So yes, we have 5th year of war, and it was plenty of time to adopt this process. And life should go on, and movies should be produced, and theaters should work, and schools should work, and people and kids in the schools should be happy, and to adopt themselves and to be happy, because you don't know what will go on tomorrow. Maybe it's your like final months, or like Freddie Mercury told, final countdown. Not Freddie Mercury, who the Scorpions, final countdown movie, this music. And that's why I try to enjoy the process, enjoy the life every day, every moment, and to not think too much about what will happen actually in some next period of time.
Interesting. Oh, thank you very much. And I hope, how many cities left for you to go and to show Hill House? Do you know?
Till 1st of May, every day.
Oh my God.
Until 1st
God
of May,
bless
every
you.
day we have, even, I tried and I wanted to go to visit all this tour, to visit all the city, not to see every day myself in the cinema, my face in the screen. It's not the reason. And when you will watch the movie, you will see that most of personnel that is represented in this movie, they are like me when we met first time, like
Yeah.
this time.
Disguised.
Guys from GUR, guys from SBU, guys from other units. And yes, there are a lot of guys from 3rd Assault Brigade that are playing in this movie, but these guys now working. And we had a conversation with Lubomir, with director, and I told that someone have to visit every city because people will show up, and they will show up, and someone has to represent all these guys that played in this movie and to say thank you to these people that showed up, that they spent their time, they spent their money, they spent their attention for this movie, and to make some attention to these people. So I drive this tour, and it's a little bit like internally complicated because I drive not like a Vlad. I try to represent all our guys that were present in this scene, and it's responsibility. When you have to choose every word, when you have to choose every emotion, that you understand that tons of people, and you don't need to do something like this, in the cinema. So it's different, and I have this possibility in this April, and it's a job. So we are working, and no alcohol.
Oh, Vlad, thank you very much. That was Volodymyr Kaminskyi from International Legion. We discussed Kill House, the film about the special operation in which was happened, the saving operation in Ukraine, and Ukrainian spectators very lucky because these days the film is in the cinema. Whenever you are, you can go and watch it. For those who are outside Ukraine, please look for the advertisement in Ukrainian community groups because I just found today there's going to be one in 3 weeks in London. So maybe you will be lucky to watch it in the US, Germany, Sweden, anywhere in Europe or Australia. I'm sure Ukrainian community in those parts of the world will make everything and best they can to show you this film. Let me know what you think about our interview, and if you watch the film, share your thoughts. Give the spoilers. We are very excited about the spoilers. I love spoilers myself. It doesn't put me off watching the film. So Kill House on big screens in Ukraine and hopefully around the world very soon. Thank you for watching. I'm Jenny Klochko. If you haven't subscribed or liked, please do. Let know YouTube that this interview should be seen by more people. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.